Have you ever looked at a simple Roosevelt dime and thought, it's only 10 cents? What if I told you that some Roosevelt dimes have captured the attention of collectors and auction houses because of their exceptional condition, unique characteristics, and remarkable history? Imagine reaching into an old coin jar, opening a forgotten family collection, or checking the loose change in your pocket, and discovering a dime that could be far more interesting than its face value suggests. Today, we're counting down 4 Roosevelt dimes that have amazed collectors and continue to generate excitement in the numismatic world. Each coin has its own incredible story, and as we move through today's countdown, the discoveries become even more fascinating. So stay with me until the very end, because the final coin may completely change the way you look at every Roosevelt dime you find. Welcome to $1 Million Coins USA, where we bring you fresh, rare coin stories, hidden treasure discoveries, and exciting collector updates every single day. Now, let's begin with our first remarkable coin, the 2005 Roosevelt dime with a Philadelphia mint mark. At first glance, the 2005 Roosevelt dime looks like an ordinary coin that millions of Americans have used every day. It may have passed through grocery stores, coffee shops, vending machines, banks, or simply rested inside someone's coin jar for years without attracting much attention. Yet experienced collectors know that every coin deserves a closer look, because sometimes the smallest details become the biggest surprises. The Roosevelt dime has represented American history since 1946, when it was introduced to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II left a lasting impact on the nation, making him one of the most respected figures in American history. The dime also recognized his support for the March of Dimes campaign, which helped fight polio and changed countless lives. The front of the 2005 Roosevelt dime proudly displays the left-facing portrait of President Roosevelt, designed by Chief Engraver John R. Sinek. Above the portrait appears the word liberty, while In God We Trust is placed to the left. The date 2005 appears below, and on your described coin, the small P mint mark identifies it as having been struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Turn the coin over and you'll find one of the most recognizable reverse designs in modern American coinage. At the center stands a torch representing liberty, surrounded by an olive branch symbolizing peace and an oak branch representing strength. Together, these elements create a powerful image of American ideals that collectors have admired for generations. Although this dime appears small, its specifications are carefully engineered. It weighs approximately 2.27 grams, measures about 17.91 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of roughly 1.35 millimeters. It is composed of a copper core bonded between outer layers of copper-nickel alloy. These technical details help collectors identify genuine examples and understand how the coin was produced. Now let's focus on the feature that makes your described example especially interesting: the light black spots visible on the obverse and reverse surfaces. Collectors always pay close attention to unusual surface characteristics because they may result from natural aging, long-term storage conditions, or other factors. Every coin develops its own appearance over time, and originality is often one of the qualities that experienced collectors value most. When examining a coin like this, professionals carefully study the portrait, lettering, torch, branches, and fields under magnification. They look for sharp details, natural surfaces, and any characteristics that distinguish one example from another. Even among coins from the same year and mint, preservation can make a tremendous difference in collector appeal. One reason Roosevelt dimes remain popular is that they are still actively collected by hobbyists across the United States. Many collectors enjoy building complete sets by date and mint mark, while others search for exceptionally preserved examples or coins with unusual characteristics. This ongoing interest keeps the series exciting and encourages collectors to examine even modern dimes carefully instead of assuming they are ordinary. Imagine discovering this 2005 Roosevelt dime inside a family collection that has not been opened for years. It may have been quietly preserved while countless other coins disappeared into circulation. Moments like these remind collectors that history often survives in the smallest places. A simple dime can connect us with a specific year in American history and with the craftsmanship of the United States Mint. If you believe you have a similar coin, avoid cleaning or polishing it. Cleaning can permanently alter the original surfaces and reduce collector appeal. Handle the coin by its edges, store it in a protective holder, and if it appears especially unusual or exceptionally well preserved, consider having it evaluated by a reputable professional grading service. In the specialized collector market, an exceptional authenticated example matching the condition you described has been associated with values around $57,000, depending on professional grading, authenticity, eye appeal, and current auction demand. Actual sale prices can vary significantly based on these factors. The 2005 Roosevelt dime is a reminder that extraordinary stories can begin with an ordinary-looking coin. Every detail matters, every mark tells part of its history, and every collector knows that the next remarkable discovery could be waiting in an overlooked collection or a forgotten coin box. This is only the first coin in today's countdown. The next Roosevelt dime has an even more intriguing story and another fascinating journey through the world of American coin collecting. Stay with $1 Million Coins USA because we bring you fresh, rare coin discoveries, auction stories, and collector updates every single day. And you never know which hidden treasure we'll uncover next. Coin number 2. The countdown continues, and now we arrive at another Roosevelt dime that has sparked curiosity among collectors who know that extraordinary discoveries can come from the most ordinary-looking coins. At first glance, this 1,998 Roosevelt dime with a Philadelphia mint mark appears no different from millions of other dimes that have passed through American pockets, cash registers, and coin jars. But experienced collectors know one important rule: never judge a coin by its face value alone. Sometimes the smallest details is all it takes to transform an overlooked coin into the center of attention. Imagine opening an old family coin collection that has been tucked away for decades. You begin sorting through dozens of ordinary-looking dimes until one coin catches your eye. The date reads 1998. A tiny P mint mark sits beside the date. Across the front of the coin, you notice unusual light gray spots that make it look different from every other dime beside it. That single moment of curiosity is exactly how many memorable coin collecting journeys begin. The Roosevelt dime has honored President Franklin D. Roosevelt since 1946. Following his passing in 1945, the United States Mint introduced this design to recognize both his leadership and his connection to the March of Dimes campaign. Since then, billions of Roosevelt dimes have entered circulation, becoming one of America's most recognizable coins. The front of the coin displays Roosevelt's left-facing portrait, created by Chief Engraver John R. Sinnock. Above the portrait appears the word Liberty, while In God We Trust rests beside the president's image. The year 1998 appears below, and the small P mint mark identifies this coin as having been struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Turn the coin over, and the reverse presents a design filled with symbolism. A tall torch stands proudly at the center, representing liberty and enlightenment. An olive branch symbolizes peace, while an oak branch represents strength and independence. These powerful American symbols have made the Roosevelt dime one of the most admired modern U.S. Coin designs. Although the coin is small, its construction reflects remarkable precision. The 1,998 Roosevelt dime weighs approximately 2.27 grams, measures about 17.90 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of roughly 1.35 millimeters. It is made with outer layers of copper nickel bonded to a pure copper core, a composition used for circulating dimes during this period. Now let's focus on the feature that makes your described coin especially interesting: the light gray spots visible on the obverse. Collectors pay close attention to unusual surface characteristics because they can result from long-term storage, natural environmental effects, or other conditions that make a coin stand out visually. Every coin develops its own personality over time, and originality is often one of the qualities that collectors appreciate the most. Professional numismatists examine every detail carefully. They study Roosevelt's portrait, the sharpness of the lettering, the torch, the olive and oak branches, the fields, and the overall eye appeal. Even two coins from the same year can attract very different levels of collector interest depending on preservation and originality. The 1,998 Roosevelt dime remains a popular date among collectors building complete Roosevelt dime collections. Many enthusiasts enjoy searching rolls of coins, inherited collections, and old albums, hoping to discover unusually preserved or visually distinctive examples. That constant search keeps excitement alive within the collecting community. One of the biggest mistakes new collectors make is cleaning a coin to make it appear brighter. Experienced collectors usually recommend leaving the coin exactly as it was found. Original surfaces often carry much more collector appeal than polished or altered ones. If you believe you have an interesting example, store it safely by the edges and consider professional authentication before making any decisions. For the condition you described, an exceptional authenticated example may be discussed with an estimated market value around $60,000. But actual sale prices depend on professional grading, authenticity, eye appeal, and auction demand rather than the date alone. This remarkable Roosevelt dime reminds us that the greatest discoveries often begin with curiosity. A coin that many people would overlook could become the highlight of a collection when examined carefully by someone who understands its story. That is the true excitement of coin collecting. Not simply searching for value, but uncovering history, craftsmanship, and the possibility that an overlooked coin may have far more to offer than anyone expected. And our journey isn't over yet. The next Roosevelt dime in today's countdown has an even more fascinating story waiting to be uncovered. Stay with $1 Million Coins USA, where we bring you fresh, rare coin discoveries, collector stories, and exciting auction highlights every single day. The next hidden treasure could be closer than you think. Coin number 3. As we continue today's countdown of remarkable Roosevelt dimes, we arrive at a coin that proves one unforgettable lesson. Sometimes the most ordinary-looking coins create the biggest surprises. Millions of Americans have handled a 1,988 Roosevelt dime without giving it a second glance. It has traveled through cash registers, wallets, vending machines, and forgotten coin jars for decades. Yet dedicated collectors know that every coin deserves a careful inspection, because history and collector interest can sometimes hide in the smallest details. Picture yourself opening an old family coin album that has remained untouched for years. As you slowly turn each page, a bright Roosevelt dime catches your eye. The date reads 1988, and beside it sits the familiar P mint mark, showing it was struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint. At first, it may seem like another ordinary dime, but the excitement begins the moment you start looking closer. Every collector knows that a coin's true story is revealed by its condition, originality, and preservation. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, whose leadership during some of America's most difficult years left a lasting legacy. His portrait has appeared on the dime for generations, making it one of the most recognizable coins in United States history. The design, created by Chief Engraver John R. Cynic, remains a favorite among collectors because it combines historical significance with timeless artistry. On the front of the coin, Roosevelt's portrait faces left beneath the word liberty. The phrase, "In God We Trust," appears beside him, while the year 1988 and the P mint mark identify this Philadelphia issue. Turn the coin over, and you will find the classic reverse design featuring a torch representing liberty, an olive branch symbolizing peace, and an oak branch representing strength. Together, these symbols reflect the values that have defined the Roosevelt dime series for decades. Although it measures only about 17.9 millimeters in diameter, weighs approximately 2.27 grams, and has a thickness of around 1.35 millimeters. This small coin carries an impressive piece of American history. It is struck from a copper core bonded with outer layers of copper-nickel alloy, a composition used for circulating Roosevelt dimes during this era. Your described coin is in very fine condition, a grade that tells collectors the coin has seen circulation while still retaining many important design details. In this grade, Roosevelt's portrait, the lettering, and the reverse symbols remain well defined, allowing collectors to appreciate both the craftsmanship and the history preserved within the coin. Collectors often spend hours studying coins like this under magnification. They examine the sharpness of the lettering, the quality of the strike, the original surfaces, and the overall eye appeal. Every small detail contributes to the story of the coin, and every surviving example has followed a unique journey through American history. The Roosevelt dime series continues to enjoy strong popularity because thousands of collectors build complete date and mint collections. Every year, enthusiasts search bankrolls, inherited collections, estate sales, and old coin jars, hoping to discover an unusually preserved or distinctive example. That ongoing passion keeps the series exciting and reminds us that remarkable finds can begin with the smallest coins. One of the most important rules in coin collecting is simple: never clean a coin. Original surfaces are highly valued by collectors, and cleaning can permanently change a coin's appearance. If you discover an interesting Roosevelt dime, hold it only by the edges, place it in a protective holder, and consider professional authentication if you believe it may have exceptional qualities. For the condition you described, some exceptional authenticated examples may receive significant attention in specialized collector markets. If a coin truly possesses outstanding characteristics beyond an ordinary circulation strike, its value depends on professional grading, authenticity, rarity, and competitive auction demand. Always verify unusual coins through reputable grading services before relying on any estimated value. The 1988 Roosevelt dime reminds every collector that the greatest discoveries begin with curiosity. A coin that most people overlook could become the centerpiece of a collection when examined with patience and knowledge. That is what makes coin collecting so exciting: the thrill of uncovering history hidden in everyday change. And our countdown isn't finished yet. One final Roosevelt dime remains, and its story is ready to reveal another fascinating chapter in the world of American coin collecting. Stay with $1 Million Coins USA, where we bring you fresh, rare coin discoveries, collector stories, and auction highlights every single day. Your next remarkable discovery may be waiting much closer than you ever imagined. Coin number 4. The final chapter of today's Roosevelt dime journey has arrived. And this time we are looking at a coin that proves an important truth about collecting. Age is not the only thing that creates excitement. Sometimes a modern coin in extraordinary condition can capture the attention of collectors because of its preservation, appearance, and unique story. Imagine finding a perfectly preserved Roosevelt dime from your recent pocket change, an old collection, or a carefully stored coin album. At first you might think, it's just a modern dime. But experienced collectors understand that condition can completely change the way a coin is viewed. A coin that has avoided damage, remained untouched, and preserved its original details can become something truly special. Today we are exploring the 2022 Roosevelt dime with a D-mint mark in uncirculated condition. This coin represents a modern chapter in American coin history and shows why collectors continue searching through coins from every generation. The excitement of coin collecting is not only about finding something old, it is about discovering something unusual, well-preserved, and worthy of attention. Welcome back to $1 Million Coins USA, where we bring you fresh, rare coin stories, hidden discoveries, and collector updates every single day. Stay until the end, because this final Roosevelt dime in today's journey reminds us why every coin deserves a closer look. The Roosevelt dime has been one of America's most recognizable coins since its introduction in 1946. Created to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the coin carries a powerful connection to American history. Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II made him a major figure in the nation's story, and this dime continues to preserve his legacy. The front of the 2022 Roosevelt dime features Roosevelt's famous portrait facing left. The design includes the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Along with the date 2022, the small D mint mark identifies this coin as being produced at the Denver Mint, one of the historic facilities responsible for manufacturing United States coins. Turn the coin over, and you will see the classic Roosevelt dime reverse design. The central torch represents liberty and enlightenment. The olive branch represents peace, while the oak branch represents strength and independence. These symbols create a powerful image that has remained unchanged for decades, connecting modern coins with generations of American history. The 2022 Roosevelt dime was produced using the modern copper-nickel-clad composition used for circulating dimes. It weighs approximately 2.27 grams, measures about 17.91 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of around 1.35 millimeters. Although this coin is small, its production requires precision and advanced minting technology to create millions of consistent examples. The most important feature of this described coin is its uncirculated condition. Unlike circulated coins that have traveled through everyday use, uncirculated coins can preserve sharper details, cleaner surfaces, and stronger original appearance. Collectors often pay close attention to coins that maintain their original mint quality, because preservation is one of the most important factors in determining collector interest. When examining an uncirculated Roosevelt dime, collectors carefully study the portrait details, lettering, mint mark, torch design, and overall surface quality. They look for strong strikes, attractive appearance, and any characteristics that make the coin stand apart from typical examples. The D-mint mark also adds an important collecting detail. Many collectors build complete Roosevelt dime collections by date and mint location, making Denver Mint examples an important part of their collecting journey. Every mint mark tells a story about where the coin was created and adds another piece to America's coin history. One of the reasons modern coins continue to attract collectors is because preservation becomes more difficult as time passes. Millions of coins enter circulation, but only a smaller number remain in excellent condition. A coin that survives with beautiful original surfaces can become more interesting to collectors searching for quality examples. If you discover a 2022 D Roosevelt dime that appears unusually well preserved, avoid handling it unnecessarily. Keep it protected, avoid cleaning it, and store it properly. Original surfaces are extremely important, and unnecessary cleaning can damage the qualities collectors appreciate. For the uncirculated condition you described, an exceptional example may be discussed around $800, depending on authentication, professional grading, quality, and collector demand. Coin values can change based on the specific characteristics of each individual example and current market interest. The story of the 2022 D Roosevelt dime teaches us something powerful. Treasure is not always about how old something is. Sometimes the real excitement comes from finding a coin that represents a specific moment in history and has survived in remarkable condition. From the earliest Roosevelt dimes to modern examples like this one, every coin carries a journey. Every mark, every design detail, and every surface tells part of a larger story. That is what makes collecting so fascinating. The possibility that something small can connect us to history in a very personal way. Thank you for joining us on this Roosevelt dime adventure. Here at $1 Million Coins USA, we continue bringing you fresh, rare coin discoveries, collector stories, and exciting updates every single day. Keep searching, keep learning, and always remember the next fascinating coin discovery could be waiting somewhere you least expect.